You think you're alone when you're typing into that chat box. You're not. Every letter, every half-formed thought, every secret you've whispered to a screen is being fed into a machine that never forgets. And right now, that machine is owned by a single company. But what if I told you there's a secret exit? A tiny piece of silicon, no bigger than a thumbnail, that is quietly declaring war on the cloud. This is the story of how OpenAI became the world's most powerful watcher, and why the chip in your pocket is the only thing standing between you and a total loss of digital sovereignty. But here's where it gets dangerous. We've all done it. We've used ChatGPT to polish a sensitive work email, to debug proprietary code, or even to vent about our personal lives. It's convenient, it's magical, but there is no such thing as a free lunch in Silicon Valley. Every prompt you send is a data point. Every interaction is a training lesson. You aren't just using the product, you are the fuel. And as we're about to see, once that fuel enters the cloud, you can never, ever get it back. But why should you care? You have nothing to hide, right? That's what they want you to think. But this is the part nobody talks about. It's not just about targeted ads anymore. It's about the centralized control of intelligence itself. If one company owns the brain that everyone uses, they own the boundaries of human thought. They decide what's true, what's allowed, and what's erased. For the last decade, the trend was clear: move everything to the cloud. Our photos, our documents, our very identities. It made sense when our computers were weak, but now we've reached a breaking point. The cloud has become a digital panopticon. Every time you interact with a cloud-based AI, you are sending your intellectual property into a black box. But here's the part where everything changes. While we were distracted by the chatbot wars, a silent revolution was happening inside the hardware. For years, the CPU was the king of your computer. Then the GPU took the throne for gaming and video. But now there's a new player in town, the NPU, the Neural Processing Unit. This tiny section of your chip is designed for one thing only: running AI locally. No servers, no internet connection, no OpenAI watching over your shoulder. This is the escalation of the hardware war. Companies like Apple, Qualcomm, and Intel are no longer just making faster gadgets. They are building the tools for a digital secession. But here is the problem that OpenAI doesn't want you to solve. Running a model like GPT-4 requires the power of a small city. How can a tiny chip in your phone possibly compete with a billion-dollar server farm? The answer is something called SLMs, small language models. We've been told that bigger is always better. More parameters, more data, more power. But that's a lie designed to keep you dependent on the cloud. Researchers have discovered that by optimizing the data and the architecture, a model with only 3 or 7 billion parameters can perform nearly as well as the giants for everyday tasks. And here's the twist you didn't see coming. Local AI isn't just about privacy, it's about speed and cost. Imagine an AI that responds instantly because it doesn't have to travel to a data center in Virginia and back. Imagine an AI that works in the middle of the desert with 0 bars of signal. But more importantly, imagine an AI that knows you, truly knows you, because it has access to your files, your emails, and your habits, but never shares them with a central authority. This is the ultimate nightmare for the cloud giants. If you can run your own AI, they lose their leverage, they lose their data stream, they lose their power. This is the part where the stakes become absolute. If we stay on the current path, we are moving toward a future where human intelligence is outsourced to 3 or 4 major corporations. If we switch to the NPU-driven local model, we reclaim our autonomy. But there's a catch. The cloud giants are fighting back. They are making their models so large and so complex that local hardware can't keep up. They are creating ecosystem lock-in, where your data is only useful if it's in their cloud. Now this changes everything. We are at a crossroads. Do we choose the convenience of the cloud at the cost of our privacy, or do we demand hardware that empowers us to be independent?
Apple is already making their move with Apple Intelligence, pushing the idea that your data stays on the device. But even they are hedging their bets by partnering with, you guessed it, OpenAI.
It's a double game. They give you privacy with one hand and a cloud subscription with the other. The real question is, will you settle for a private cloud, or will you fight for a truly local future?
The economics of this are staggering. Every time you use a local model, you are essentially stealing a fraction of a cent from the cloud providers. Multiply that by billions of users and trillions of prompts, and you have a total collapse of the SaaS business model. This isn't just about tech. It's about the future of human agency. If your thoughts are processed on a server, they aren't entirely your thoughts. They are filtered, monitored, and archived.
So the next time you see a new AI feature announcement, don't look at what it can do. Look at where it does it. Because the most important revolution isn't happening in the chat box. It's happening in the silicon. The cloud is a cage, and that tiny chip in your pocket, it might just be the only key left.
The war for your data is over. The war for your mind has just begun.